Shalom, shalom. I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's all honor, praise, and glory to the Most High God in the name of His begotten Son Yahweh Shai. And today's lesson, we're gonna go into basically misfortune follows wicked people, or misfortune follows wicked men. So we're gonna head into that. And the reason why we got the word Ra as the display in your image right now is because we're going to deal with that word Ra real quick. You know, we're going to touch on that right now. Matter of fact, let's get into it. So shalom, shalom, fam. So just dealing with that word Ra when we go into the Hebrew is interesting enough. Let's hear the pronunciation of the word Ra.
Strong's H 7451, Ra,
Ra,
and second entry, Ra,
right?
And third entry, Ra'ah.
Now, you know, we shouldn't really be uttering that word too often, but just to bring clarity and understanding. Hold on, let me make sure that everything is good over here. All right, cool. So just dealing with that word Ra, you know, that word is used for many different words, especially describing evil, right? Evil, wickedness, wicked, mischief, hurt, and all the different words, right? But mainly evil. So when we're dealing with the, you know, that word, you got different definitions. Mostly dealing with evil and being bad, dealing with your ethics, code of ethics, you know, when you're dealing with the word ethics, we can just look up the quick definition for the word ethic so we could just get a basic understanding. Because sometimes, you know, like, this is the mistakes that I was making before too. Like a lot of times you think you know what a word is, but you know, you just got to get a more clear understanding, or at least a quick, clear understanding, so that way you can get into the point of things, right? So ethic is a set of moral principles, especially ones relating or affirming a specified group, field, or form of conduct. So, you know, wicked, ethnically wicked, right? Ethically wicked, right? Dealing with that word Ra. So we're going to touch on, you know, just keep that in mind when we're dealing with that word wicked, when we're dealing with that word evil. It goes back to this word. It goes back to, you know, a deeper understanding of that, you know what I mean? So getting into the scriptures, we're gonna deal with this. Well, even running before that, what inspired this lesson is basically from my slavery. I do security work, right? I do work at the nightclub and lounges, etc. So now, like, it was a very difficult time, you know, the last day I worked, because, you know, you had a big group outside people. I'm gonna just get to the point of it, but like we had like a large group outside, and it's like, you know, it's like Jake, it's like, you know, brothers out there, you know, you know, they involved with the gang culture, you know what I'm saying, and they so caught up into the worldly things, you know what I mean. Hold on 1 second. All right, cool. They so caught up, you know, like it's like they got multiple spirits on them. Different brothers got different spirits on them, you know what I'm saying. And these are cats that they came to the spot before. And, you know, one thing I pride myself in is being brotherly, especially towards Jake. I'm not trying to be, you know, like a typical host, bouncer, etc. And, you know, act like, you know, I'm trying to muscle everybody, etc. Well, my approach to dealing with Jake in that dynamic is to be more brotherly and be hospitable, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, even with me being overly hospitable and being, you know, welcoming and etc., you know, brothers try to take advantage, and they want to debo, and they want to act like wherever they go they could kick in the door and cause a disturbance, you know what I'm saying? They just have this, you know, they just dealing with a you know, like this wicked, this ethic, the wicked, like we read before, you know, ethically wicked, you know what I'm saying? Just the mannerisms and the way that they move about. So fast forward through the night, I wasn't trying to let the cats in, because we had a full house. And you know, when it comes to a busier night, to deal with cats that wanna, like, they wanna muscle their way in, and then I gotta deal with cats rolling up blunts in the corner, and acting foolish, and not paying the bill, etc., or trying to get over. It's not something, not something I really want to deal with. So I was trying to give them multiple excuses not to come in the spot. So long story short, the place, people was leaving my spot. People was finishing their tables, whatever, finishing paying their bills, and they was leaving. A lot of people was leaving. So they was like, yo, those people just left. We ain't got no space. I'm like, nah, you gotta wait 30 minutes, whatever. So there was a point where it was like half the spot was empty, and then you had them outside. So I was like, yo, if I keep these dudes out for too long, because they already peeped how the situation was looking, like the place was looking empty, then it might be World War III in the front of the spot. And I only had one other security guard to back me up versus maybe like 10 dudes, etc. Who knows? God knows what they had on them, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? All right, let me do it like this. So what I did was I let some of them in. I let in about 6 of them. I let 6 of them in, boom. But I left they had girls with them as well. So I left them outside, and they're like, yo, when you gonna bring in the girls? I'm like, yo, commit yourself to that bill that you're gonna do right now, because we was gonna make them pay for everything they wanted up front. So I was like, yo, commit yourself to that bill right now, and then I'll let you guys in. So that's how I had it, just to make sure that the money situation was not gonna be a problem. Did that, boom, boom, boom. So I got everybody, all the girls that they had, and the like maybe like 3 more dudes in. So they was all pretty much deep in the spot. So now, since they paid their little money, whatever that they wanted for the things that they wanted, now they own everybody. Now, oh, yo, let me get this, let me get that, let me get this for free, let me get that for free, let me get this. Yo, but I just spent X amount of money, whatever. All right. Fast forward, they over there breaking stuff. They over there rolling blunts in the corner. I got to deal with this person standing on top of sofas. I got to deal with this, that, and the third. Just the mentality, just the recklessness. You got one dude putting both feet on top of the table like if it's his house. You got the other dude, walking around with the bottle everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You got the other dude going into the DJ, telling him how to play his music. Just a bunch of different things. All them trying to get stuff for free, etc. Them threatening other customers, like, oh, you want to lose your life? Don't step on my shoe. Dealing with just a bunch of unnecessary, like where's your manners at? Where's your ethics at? You know what I'm saying? Like, so basically, based off of that, just analyzing the whole situation. Not to mention that I had a side conversation with another dude. He was like he might have been like an Ephraimite cat, or he might have been just light skinned. Like he was trying to get the DJ at the end to play a certain song, like a Meek Mill song. But at the end, we trying to wrap it up. So I'm there going back and forth with him about the song. And then he's like, bro, you trying to lose your life over this job? I'm like, lose my life? What you talking about? That, it ran through my mind. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? You threatening me? He's like, nah, man, you taking this too serious. It's like, bro, you just gotta learn how to talk to people, bro. Like, you can't be telling somebody that they about to lose their life. Another person would have snuffed you right now just off the strength of you acting hostile. You know what I'm saying? Like, you saying words that somebody else might take a different way. This is me. This is my job place, so I know how to move. But somebody else, they might not care, and they would have let off on you. So just this mentality, the overall scene of things, I had to analyze, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see these cats, they young, maybe 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, somewhere in that zone, maybe pushing 30, some of them maybe. And then the girls that they had, they was all young. They was all 21, 22. And then, if you had to make a description of the girls that they was with, basically, they all, like, half of them had fake body parts, you know what I'm saying? Half of them had blonde hair, or insert whatever color you want, green, red, pink, you know what I'm saying? Like, just extra, you know what I'm saying? Like, they so caught up in, like, that view of what we see on TV, and they into fashion. Like, what was they rocking? They was rocking, what was they rocking? Damn, I forgot the brand. A lot of them was rocking Kappa. What's that? Kappa? Let me see. What's that called? I think it's called Kappa. That's what these kids is rocking now. Kappa with the ladies on it. Let me see. Kappa brand. And that's interesting. Kappa goes back to Greek fraternities too. That's another interesting thing that I just discovered right now. So this is the brand. You know, Cass is wearing this brand a lot now. You see brothers wearing the Kappa, or they wearing European designer clothing. You know what I'm saying? When we go into this Kappa, see, look, I ain't even prepared for this. When you're dealing with Kappa, that goes back into Greek fraternity. Greek. Hold on, let me see what Kappa talking about. The 10th letter of the Greek alphabet used to represent the K sound. So, all right, we got okay, K for Kappa. All right, so we, to be continued on the word Kappa. We get into that. It's probably something else, right? But you see, like, you see Jake, man, they spent so much. They spent all their money that they use from scamming, none of them, they all scamming, right? They use all their scamming money to buy these designer clothing, and then to trick out on our women too, that are also lost. You know what I'm saying? They over there, are they looking for love, them girls? Are they looking for brothers that's gonna spend money on them? You know what I'm saying? Pay for their stuff, like take advantage or whatever. You got brothers over there complaining like, yo, we spending all this money, we can't even get out, you stopping me from getting stopping me from getting laid. Like the way that they talking, like the way that they, they was there degrading the women, and just it was just looking like messy. You know what I'm saying? The whole situation was messy, and just analyzing that situation, it was interesting because I seen one of them threw up they set in the spot, so I'm analyzing him throwing it up, because I used to be involved with different things back in the day, and they was affiliated with the blood gang. So then just analyzing it even further. I live in New York City, so the whole blood situation, didn't get like catch fire until like the late 90s, early 2000s, especially around the Dipset era, and it was more of a trendy thing. But then of course it translated into the prison system. A lot of these cats, they go into jail, and they come out being blood, and then they go back to their neighborhoods and make everybody blood there too. But still dealing with that word wicked, and that word raw. When you look at the people who's involved with the blood gang and hip hop, it's pretty interesting. And then dealing with the jail culture also. We even like, I'm trying to organize my thoughts on this, because it's like a lot I want to say on it. But when you're dealing with that blood culture, it's interesting because like they wanted to incorporate, like with 6ix9ine and with cats like Young Thug, they bring in homosexuality into the blood culture, right? Or just like this carefree spirit. Young Thug is like borderline homosexual, display, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't openly say that they're homosexual, but they're borderlining the homosexuality aspects. But when you go into the jail, what's interesting, and then even on the West Coast, a lot of these so-called bloods, they embrace homosexuality, and they allow to be homosexuals within the gang in their respected jails, etc. So even I have a homie that he was locked up in federal jail, in federal jail, right? And I believe it's DC. I'm not sure. I could be mistaken on this, but they don't have a state jail. So everyone who gets locked up in DC, they have to go straight to federal jail. And then basically they have one big blood homosexual, just straight embracing it. Everybody's homo in there that's affiliated with the blood gang. And then they just basically bringing cats in and then turning them out. So just, like, how you going to be affiliated with a gang that embraces homosexuality in the gang? Like that's interesting. Sodomy. Let me use that word. Not homos. Let me use sodomy. Sodomy is a better word. And sodomy, the word sodomy is interesting too, because when we think of Sodom, we think of, homosexuality, pedophilia, etc. But You look at Genesis 13 and 13. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. So not only were the men of Sodom dealing with homosexuality, but they were dealing with wickedness on multiple levels. Going back to the word wicked being evil. Um, let's look at this word, right? One of the definitions of Ra. How you say that word?
Malignant.
Malignant, right? Malignant, right? When we go back into that word, being evil, right? Bad, disagreeable, malignant. You're dealing with that word malignant, spiteful, hostile. Synonyms for that word, right? Malevolent, malicious, vicious, nasty, poisonous, venomous, etc. Right? So it's just like cruel, you know what I'm saying? Like, the men of Sodom, they were dealing with those multiple levels of the evils, you know what I'm saying? Of how more could a man be evil? It's like a pathway, being a wicked man, it has a starting point, right? I mean, we're all, we all have multiple levels of wickedness that we dealing with, because none of us is perfect out here, right? But the path of wickedness it gets worse, and it contaminates more aspects of your life. So these men who are blood within this gang, they are already operating outside in society, being so-called free. They're already operating in a kick in the door, hostile, spiteful, cruel, vicious way, unappreciative way, dealing within the worldly things. Now imagine some of those men, one of them who admitted that he just came home from doing a 3-year bid, to me that night. What kind of evils did he have to display when he was locked up? Did he have to get put into a situation where he had to deal with other levels, dealing with sodomite behavior? You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Who knows what evils is buried in his heart? Who knows what he had to do to be able to get whatever status he is in his gang? You know what I'm saying? Dealing with that so-called blood gang, that blood gang embracing all that sodomy. You know what I'm saying? Even in Brooklyn, growing up, I remember that in order to be initiated into those gangs at the time, that you had to cut a woman's face. You know what I'm saying? Like, they testing how evil you can be. You know what I'm saying? So there's interesting dynamics to what the evils and the misfortune of these wicked men. You know what I'm saying? So we see, like so-called famous people like Chris Brown dealing with a multitude of different misfortunes, because he always getting caught up in something, because he just dealing, he's see, that's the thing about becoming a celebrity. All right, cool, you got that bread, but now you can't even operate in a normal fashion without some type of lens on you. You know what I'm saying? And then you could be dealing with a woman that could say you raped her, and that's what he's dealing with on that level, and on all the other things that he's dealing with. And then you got 6ix9ine. That's another one. All right, you was dealing with your wickedness now, and you were sleeping with multiple women and catching STDs, etc. And who knows his story, right? And then what he had to deal with, the mother of his child going on a platform like so-called Vlad TV, and then she there spilling the whole, she telling Vlad the whole story, everything. Not to mention that Vlad got her posted up in in lingerie or something like that. Basically paid her to do a photo shoot. Straight violated him. You know what I'm saying? It's like you couldn't get more violated than that, to have your baby mother posted on a billboard. And who else is here? And then look, this goes back to that blood culture. I don't want to put the scope on this, but that so-called blood culture embraces homosexuality totally. And then the last person I wanted to bring up was this cat right here. This is another cat, Vile. You know what I'm saying? And what was he doing before he became a rapper? He was stripping. He was dealing with homosexual activity, whether he want to admit it or not. Who knows what kind of evils is buried in his heart? You know what I'm saying? So that's dealing with what my experience of what I went through. But let's get into the scriptures, which is the point, right? So the highlight scripture that I want to point out is Proverbs 13:21. And evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. So we got to remember, man, when we dealing with wickedness, when we dealing with evil, Evil pursues sinners, man. So anytime we get caught up in our sins, that evil's gonna follow us. It's like looking over your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? We got to be blameless, so we can't operate like we're continuing to pursue sin and evil. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Right? When the morning is light, they practice it because it is the power of their hand. It is in the power of their hand. So you got Jake out here that, them dealing in their wickedness, is giving them a certain status in this world. So they wake up and go to sleep to, thinking and dreaming about the wickedness that they're gonna do. They wake up in the morning and they cook that dope, you know what I'm saying, to bag it up to go sell it. They're thinking of the next day when they're gonna go rob XYZ. So they think that the power in their hand is the wicked deeds that they do, because now somebody else won't do it, but they will. And then that evil is going to pursue you, right? If you think like that. Isaiah 48:22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. So you got to be consistently watching your back. There's no peace unto the wicked, right? Just like we saw before, where how the evil pursues you. You know what I'm saying? If evil's pursuing you, then you on the run. You know what I'm saying? You trying to dodge. You trying to get away from that evils to come upon you, but eventually it's gonna catch up with you, right? We got Exodus 14:14. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace, right? So that's one thing. We know that, them cats, right? Let's say if I would have got it popping with them, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, the idea was not to get it popping with them. You know what I'm saying? I could have took what the cat said to me as disrespect, like, yo, you gonna lose your life. Me in the world, I would have said it over, because I'm like, I would have been like, yo, you threatening my life, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta hold your peace. The Most High gonna deal with them, right? Because if they don't repent, they're gonna bury their own grave, right? They're gonna lay in their own grave, right? So let's go to Romans 3:10 through 18. As it is written, there is none righteous. So we got to remember, like, we can't look down upon our brothers and sisters to a certain degree, because we know that we have our own faults too. You know what I'm saying? Their fault is in their ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Us, in the knowledge, we're more responsible because we know better. You know what I'm saying? Them cats, they never heard the word. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe some of them might have, some might have not. Some might have rejected the word. But there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none, so we can't be proud just because we know the truth, right? There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after God. Talking about wicked men, right? They are all gone out of the way. They are together become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Their throat is an open sepulcher. How you say that word? Let's learn how to say it real quick. Sepulch. Let's look it up. My bad, fam. Salakia. Let's look at how to say it. Sepulcher, right? A small room or monument, cut in rock or built of stone, in which a dead person is laid or buried, right? So, with their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asps is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. So you have to remember these things when dealing with wicked men. You have to have a certain level of patience, and you have to hold your peace, because they're not bound by the same laws that you're bound by, because they rejected it or they're ignorant to it. So you have to move a certain way when dealing with the wicked. You have to be strategic when dealing with the wicked. You have to be harmless as a dove and wise as a serpent when you're dealing with the wicked, right? You have to have patience, the patience and the faith of the saints. Ephesians 4:31 through 32. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake have forgiven you. That's right. We got to be brotherly. That's one thing. Also, when the cat, he was taking offense to me, telling him, you know, fall back from the DJ booth, trying to stop requesting a Meek Mill song at 3:50 in the morning when the spot closed at 4 o'clock, and the cats don't want to leave and they want to hear 50 more songs. I told the brother, like, yo, all I did was be hospitable to y'all. Not to mention that one of your homies, he's over there passed out in the corner, and I made sure that he wasn't laying down so he won't throw up, because I knew cats that died like that. And I got him a bottle of water with napkins, made sure he was good. Not to mention, I made sure everybody else was good. I was being hospitable, kind, and welcoming to all of his brothers. So on some level, maybe a 0.001% level, you gotta respect that, fam. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be wise as a serpent when you're dealing with these cats, right? First Thessalonians, even though they're unappreciative, selfish, and self-centered. First Thessalonians 5:22. Abstain from all appearance of evil. So we gotta be walking without the appearance of evil. Can't be proud. This is how we're supposed to be moving on a regular. And I'm over here cooking some beef patties, and I need to turn off the stove. I'm wilding. All right, cool. That's that. And Acts, and the final scripture that I got is Acts 17:30. And the times of ignorance God winked at, right? You got your grace from the times of ignorance, that you did your sin, and you got away with a lot of things. But now commandeth all men everywhere to repent. So now the Most High is commanding us to repent when we hear this word. So we got to give a call, hello, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of his begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. I hope this was edifying. I just sharing a little story, it's inspired me to do this lesson. And, just pretty much, man, just be careful out there in these streets, fam, and stay committed and dedicated to this truth, man. This truth is a precious thing. And shalom.